Welcome to my channel, everyone. This is Christy here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of October 31st through to November 7th. We'll be focusing today on loving the self. You'll remember last week we did some work around learning how to forgive the self, learning how to understand your hidden strengths. This week we're going to look at loving the self. So a lot of inner work and things that are probably only going to make sense to you when you think about them emotionally or even spiritually this week. So we'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle for our main spread and the Healing with the Angels Tarot and Medicine cards for our additional message cards today. I just want to take a moment and thank every single one of my subscribers. Today I've hit 2,000 subscribers and I'm just over the moon about it. So thank you so much for being here, for subscribing, liking my videos, and watching every week. This makes it worthwhile. I love doing this for you, so I'm really appreciative of that. And I'd love to see this channel grow and possibly do this full time. So I hope you keep your confidence in me. And without further ado, let's get it started into your general reading. Whatever is most prominent in your life this week, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to. And hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So what does Gemini need to know about loving the self this week? Wow, Gemini, you are being asked to do some soul searching this week. Very possibly, and not unusual, frankly, right? It's the human condition. Very possibly with regard to something that you already know. It's on the tip of your tongue, or you already know what it is right now that I'm talking about, that you've been, sort of putting off, okay? Something that you really, in terms of loving the self, right, that you're going to have to either face or overcome or even accept about yourself. And yes, this could be a little bit of emotional work for you, but if the outcome is more important to you, then it'll be worth it, okay? And I don't see it taking a great deal of time here because I feel as though you probably have already identified it here. If that's not the case, something will be brought to your attention within the week with regard to what it is that you do need to pay attention to. And if that's the case, it could be that it's a little bit different than what you originally thought it was. And if that's the case, you're going to want to listen to the message or the messenger as opposed to what you had initially thought it was that was blocking you from loving yourself. And I really see you having to make a decision by the end of the week if this is important to you. So I'm really excited for you. I like challenges. I like when people are being given sort of a task. Do you want this? It's at the end of this little test. And if you want that, if you want to, learn to love yourself or get to the bottom of why you may not love yourself or a part of yourself, then, perhaps you might say, okay, challenge accepted. Let's do this. And as I always say, especially for my Capricorn viewers, I do think that a healthy level of skepticism is normal. In fact, I encourage it. Any process, any theme, any research, really anything that we do, whether it's healing work or even business or relationships, it's important to be skeptical about our motivations or other people's motivations. The thing we want to steer away from is cynicism, okay? Cynicism really just puts a dampener on everything, and it's kind of hopeless. So let's get into the reading here, and if you have to remain a skeptic, then all the power to you, but challenge yourself all the same. Here in your central position being chopped wood, we're looking at the card of humility, okay? We're looking at a sense of, and again, as I started out saying, of course this is difficult for most people. Most people don't want to, all people. We're creatures of comfort, right? We don't like things that are painful. This is not unusual. This is just, we avoid it. We avoid discomfort. We avoid things that we don't want to process or we don't want to even admit to here. But because this is really all about you, this is really internal to you, okay? Nobody else has to know about this, Gemini. It might be a really nice week for you to sort of, maybe get to know yourself. Maybe just say, no one else has to know what I think the problem is another way to frame this. And that hopefully will bring a sense of, okay, like I can get myself through this. I can work through this at my own pace and in my own way. And I get to benefit at the end of it. And definitely, at the end of that success around loving the self, it will rub off on other people. Other people will feel it, and they might even ask, you seem really different, or you seem happier than normal. You can say, yeah, I went through this little trial, this little, I challenged myself, and believe me, that's very inspiring to other people as well. Certainly if you require that right now and you need to be inspired by someone else, I would suggest checking out some of whom I consider some really contemporary spiritual leaders, and that would be Louise Hay and also Wayne Dyer. I think they're both really lovely, and they have a lot of work on YouTube. So if you're looking for inspiration around healing and self-love, you can start there. But here, with regard to you internally, what you're going to be looking at, or what you may find the focus is on, is a sense of humility around something, being humble about something, not about a God-given gift here, okay? You don't need to be humble about a God-given gift here. You could need to be humble about having let someone down, okay? Including yourself. You want more for yourself, you expect more for yourself, but there's sort of excuses around it, or there's sort of justifications, right, around it. But this is a really good week to say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I really want to find out how to switch this up. I don't want to keep meeting with the arguments that come with this. I don't want to keep meeting with the upset on any level that comes with this. And you can challenge yourself to get to the bottom of it, but guaranteed it has to come from within, okay? Even if you truly believe the quote-unquote problem is with the other person. This is your challenge this week, Gemini, is to say, especially if you've always thought it's the other person, or the business, or the company, or the anything external to you, whatever, the condition you're in, what you're surrounded with, like whatever you've been saying, it's external to you is the problem. This is the week where you're going to be challenged, if you're motivated to begin loving yourself, or to learn how to love yourself more, is to say, could it possibly be me, or could some of it be me, like that kind of thing. And like I said, stay skeptical about it, but also have a sense of humor. Do it because you believe in love. Do it because you want healing. Don't do it because you want to pick on yourself or you want to be mean to yourself. This is about loving the self, but you do have to begin by saying, could it be something that I'm doing or contributing? Do I need to be humble about something here? Or have you been humbled, and have you learned from that humbling experience? Is another angle to your current position. Message in a bottle is the influence to your current position for the week. This is where I see something sort of just coming what's going to seem or feel from out of nowhere, which is frankly quite magical for spiritual-minded people. And if you're not like that, you might find it a little jarring. How in the world did you know that? Or how in the world did that just turn up on the radio or in a book? Or something's going to make itself known to you that's going to match the vibration of the yearning and the willingness to begin loving yourself or begin loving yourself more this week, Gemini. This is going to be exciting. This is what's going to be like, oh, I get it. Or, okay, I can't put it off anymore. Okay, so this kind of feeling is going to, and there'll be a sense of glee to it. There'll be a sense of sort of coincidence, right? Maybe even deja vu. But a sense of coincidence here that's sort of like, you won't, even if you do normally sort of brush off coincidences, for example, you won't be able to this time. Or it doesn't have to be through someone you know already either. Like I said, this could be a message from a book, from a movie, someone in a lineup. It could be a passing comment. It could be a memory or a deja vu, as I mentioned. It could be a memory of your own as well, though. We're looking at telecommunications as well here. But the whole point behind this is that a special message meant for you is currently on its way, and it will be in direct relation to a sense of humility or a sense of what you were supposed to learn during a moment of being humbled. Okay? Here with fork in the road is your probable outcome position. This is where I see you actually making a decision, and a very powerful one, because you're going to recognize finally, or for once, or in a long time here, that yes, you are responsible for that voice in how you treat yourself in your own head, the messages we give ourselves, right? What do you say to yourself, for example, when you make a mistake? That's what we call our internal dialogue. And it would be a really good week for you to take a look at your internal dialogue this week. It could be a really good week to look at what other people are saying about you or to you. There could be a lot of teasing, a lot of jostling, a lot of, picking or prodding with humor. And you might look into that a little bit this week. Like, is it humorous? Is it getting to me? Maybe something can't be brushed off anymore here. But yeah, a definite decision needs to be made about which direction to head in terms of loving yourself. And it could just be as simple as saying, I did, for whatever one thing in your life right now, I used to think that was cool, or I used to think I was okay with that, or you know what? At one time that was funny, etc. And now you'll say, but I've outgrown that, or this is the reason why I don't find it comfortable or funny, or you know what, I don't like when you say that anymore. And it could just be you putting your foot down about something because you're willing to let go of that feeling. You don't want to be in a sense of humility and being humbled over and over and over here. It's time to get to the root of that. Here with why being in the general energy for the week, this is where we're looking at motivations, both yours and those around you. So why in terms of motivation, definitely looking at why you would be saying, doing, thinking, even behaving, okay? In specific ways. Really, it's the difference, frankly, between conscious and unconscious or even subconscious behavior here. We're looking at what was always working and easy for you that sort of feels empty or unusually unfulfilling lately. And that's what you're going to want to challenge when it comes to taking a stand around loving yourself. Here with divine guidance, I love this card. This is really beautiful. Certainly if you feel like you do need a little bit of extra protection this week, you can call on your favorite guardian angel. You can call on your archangels, Mother Mary, God, or even an ancestor that's passed. If you have a mother, father, uncle, anyone who's passed on, you felt was very significant in your life and very loving and helpful. Believe me, they do want to help. And also know that you are divinely guided at this time, particularly around the message in a bottle. This is a specific message meant for you. What's significant about this, I'm just going to finish quickly here in terms of divine guidance and the message in a bottle here, is that and this happens, and people have told me this, and it's really, really comical, but it's very powerful. There could be 5, 10, 20 people reading the same book that you know of, watching the same movie, in the same lineup, at the same dinner table. And something is said or produced or commented on, or some what seems like sort of a general, kind of maybe insignificant to everybody but you. And you don't even have to blurt it out. Like this is internal to you. That's what this is talking about here. You could be in the midst of a bunch of people and something really touches you or really appeals to you, even if you'd seen it or heard it before, okay? It's going to be very significant this time, and it could be that aha moment. Here with Lizard, this is dreaming. This is, of course, looking at the subconscious self. Certainly, this would be a magnificent week, Gemini, to write down your dreams. If you are lucky enough to remember these, make sure you keep that notepad and pen next to your bed. Jot them down. If you're interested in doing this as an exercise and you don't remember dreams easily, you can always look up on how to remember your dreams. One really simple way is to drink a decent amount of water before you go to bed, and it'll prompt you to get up to use the washroom. And sometimes, especially after 4 or 5 hours of sleep, you can generally wake up from an REM dream. So if you're looking for other ways to learn how to get to the subconscious, dreams would be a fantastic way to do that. On the other hand, there could be something that you have been dreaming of in terms of a daydream, okay? That is, you really want this, you really desire this, even if it's peace, even if it's acceptance, or not having stress or anxiety, or internal dialogue, or a relationship with anyone else where communication has you constantly second guessing yourself here. You're going to want to say, my daydream or my big dream around this theme is to be at peace with this person or in this environment, or to be so accepting and loving of myself that no matter what comes my way, no matter what's said to me, I can manage it, or I feel confident I can walk away from it and not have to explain myself here, right? Because we're looking at motivations. Only you need to be aware of that. Specifically around loving yourself. You don't owe anyone any explanation around that. And I'm going to leave it there. If you can comment below, it takes a couple of seconds. I'd really appreciate hearing from you. And if you're not already, subscribe today. It's free and you get updates on your weekly videos. And it also allows me to put a little bit more time into making face-to-face videos, which is what I'm really working myself up to. So I'm excited to do that and then learn more about each other and have this channel grow from here on. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Gemini. I'm really hoping this helps you this week. And until we meet in the next video, take good care of yourself. Bye for now.